Yo, what's going on? Where it is your boy Junes88 and the homie West Side Izzy P. And this is the show about nothing podcast. And he is really committed to the footballness. Like he's really
It's
committed.
football season. We
He's
are officially in football season. You can't tell me anything else right now. I'm I'm ready to go, coach. Put me in.
yes, you are. I can really see that you're really all in. Like what position you playing?
Well, this isn't the regular quarterback helmet. This is a wide receiver helmet. And if I'm correct, give me a second.
It's, one man really got the
If I'm correct. This is T. Higgins. This is his helmet,
okay.
autographed by T himself. So I guess I'm playing wide out today, guys.
My man really got the helmet, man. What's going on? Is what's popping, baby? We ain't been on here since the last time you been on here, which been a long time. Seems like forever.
A couple of weeks. Been a couple of weeks. We've had some interesting developments pop up left and right.
Very, very. You ain't gonna talk about it unless you want to
Oh
talk
no.
about it.
I mean, let's see. I did have uh I
Don't
did
say
have
the word. It's on YouTube. You can't say the word on YouTube. They be tripping.
Oh, you serious? We can't say that?
You can't say yeah. They be flagging stuff on that.
Oh dear goodness.
He
Well let's
had the
just
beverage. He had the beverage. Put it like Tony Baker said. He had the
I had the beverage. A slight little sip of it, if we could just keep it at that.
yeah. He was down for a few days after the beverage. You know what I mean? He was
And
down.
then we had that hurricane roll through the area.
Yeah. It was a lot of that. Man,
Yeah,
I've been
so
getting rain, so we ain't got no. We've been getting little showers in the city of Dallas, but we ain't got no real rain on where I'm at. I'm like, yo, it's just something about waking up to rain that just make you roll back over, put a blanket over your head, just snuggle back down to the bed, and don't want to get out.
oh yeah. Oh yeah, trust me. When it's raining and when it's morning time and I hear the rain outside, 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna be tempted to just like stay in bed.
Who you tell?
But but I can't stay in bed for too long because I'm just gonna be like, ugh, I don't want to do nothing. I can't do that in my life.
Have you ever slept still? Like I can't stay in bed too long because if I do, I get my day is ruined. Like I'm not worth a damn for the rest of the day.
I
Like
mean,
I ain't worth crap. I ain't gonna hold. I ain't worth damn. If I stay in bed longer than my usual time, I ain't worth crap. I'm not worth crap.
for me, it's more along the lines of like I get up like really early in the morning, so um 9 times out of 10, I can't even stay. I can't sleep in like I used to. Like for me to sleep in, the way that I want to, I gotta stay up at least until like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Look, I wish I would stay up. I don't get how people stay up that late. They people like, I don't go sleep till 3. Why? What like why?
Hey
Why?
man, some people are like night owls or whatever, bro.
God,
You know what
never
I'm
been.
saying? Like there are people that just like they prefer to be out and about at nighttime. I've
No,
tried it before. I tried that life. It's nothing to sneeze at.
dude. If I'm not doing a show, just to be up all night on in my house, just up, just up doing what gaming it up or whatever. Like I don't, I can't do
Yeah.
it.
I mean, for me, it's more along the lines like I have to be doing something or I have to be out somewhere and know that I'm going to be late for me to be up a little bit later than I'm supposed to. Like, if, I've had the instance of like going to like, sporting events like a hockey game or a football game or whatnot. And I know I'm going to be getting out and I'm getting out of there like late and I'm going to be getting home late and whatever. Or, perfect example, when I went to Atlanta, with my little sister, we went to go to the concert out there. Show started at 7:30. We didn't leave until like almost. We didn't get to the house till like almost 1 o'clock.
Right? And
So like, we were, I already knew that it was gonna be just take a shower and then go straight to sleep and whatever, and that was it. But other than that, though, it was like we were out and about doing something. We weren't just sitting around, just
Like that's
you
what I
know.
tell people. People used to make fun. People make fun of me. Man, you go to sleep early, man. Like, dog, look. Once I'm chilling, I'm done. Like once I kick back and start chilling, I'm done. Like that's what I say. If I'm the most I'm like this. Don't let me sit down and get comfortable. If we out and about after a show, I'm already lit. I'm already up. And then we having a good time chilling after the show. Don't let me get sitting down and just relax. It's over. It's like, even after the show, once I get home, I immediately take after the show, I immediately take a shower. But I'm still up. Like I can't go to sleep. Like I'm up. Like it's like 2, 3. I'm like, it's hell trying to go to sleep. Then I'm
Oh yeah,
right back
like
about.
because your
I'm right back
adrenaline's
to
like,
every time.
your adrenaline's running like at 100 miles an hour during that time. Like you're just on the go. Like you're everywhere.
Yep. But yo, man, switching gears. It was a very interesting week this weekend. We had college footballers back. And let's just address the elephant in the room right now. Not even the elephant. Not even the elephant. The buffalo in the china shop.
Oh, I was gonna say we're gonna talk about Ohio State having two quarterbacks and not having one at all.
Okay, which one do you want to start about? Because I'm passionate about both of these topics. Which one do you want to start with? Let's
Okay,
start with the home team. Let's start with the home team, Ohio State. Here's my issue.
Kyle McCord and the other guy both played.
Devin Brown. I put
Devin
this
Brown. It was a sluggish start.
very
They beat Indiana
3-3.
20-23. But it was like you look at the scoreboard and you think Ohio State should be up bigger than what they are versus Indiana. Like look at teams like Oklahoma dropping.
But see, they beat a piss poor team. But Indiana, I expected a pretty decent game from an in conference team. But
Yeah,
I'm like this.
they're in conference, yes, but like let's keep it a band. Like, is Indiana even like competitive at most?
I'm gonna say this. When they said Kyle was gonna be the starter, I'm like, ain't nothing to talk about. Then they said they're gonna be playing two quarterbacks. I'm like,
but what is that euphemism in football? If you have two quarterbacks and you have none?
yep. But here's my issue. Here's my thing. I like Kyle way more than Devin because Kyle was there a little. Like he studied behind CJ. So he was there. He got some seniority. He know the playbook a little more. He got a little more. So I'm like, all right, it's kind of like.
And also, doesn't Kyle doesn't he have that like chemistry with Harrison Jr. already?
Yeah, and I'm about to get to that. When how was it? Okay, when JT Barrett was there,
Right.
then Simba was up behind him.
Rest in peace.
Then and rest in peace, Simba. When JT got injured, Simba came in. I think it was against the team of North. Yeah, it was that game. So I'm like,
I remember the clip. Like when JT went down, Simba came in, and all the team up north guys were like, "Hey, yo, Seven's about to come in. We about to go after him." And
he did his thing. I'm like, after I saw him play, I'm like, I'm not worried about this team once JT's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And Simba played 2 seasons. I'm like, all right, cool. Then
CJ Stroud.
No, Justin came in from Georgia.
Right. Justin Fields came into the fold.
And then I'm like, I ain't know too much about Justin. I knew from Georgia. Like then he came in and just lit it up.
Justin Fields. Hey, you want to know why we support Justin Fields and want to see him succeed? Look at his Ohio State tape and just see how electric he is when he has weapons.
Very. And then it was a game. I think they ran the score a few years. They ran the score. Then they put CJ in.
Mm-hmm.
Like this. He went in, played amazing. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm not worried about him. I'm not too worried about him. Right. He struggled with the Notre Dame game. He struggled with his first. He had to warm up. Then when last year they put in Kyle. I'm like, all right, I didn't have that. Like, okay, he's good. I'm not too. But once you have, I think with Kyle, once he got a rhythm going, it's different. Like, all right, I got my rhythm going. All right, Kyle, Devin, you're in. Like, you switch, you messing up the pace.
Mm-hmm.
So I got my rhythm going. I got to go out. I just need to see a full game of just Kyle. And
Right.
this is to all Buckeye fans. Calm down.
Oh yeah, I saw this. You made a post talking about like they hit the panic button way too
They
early.
hit the button way faster than they should have. Like, dog, calm down. If we having this conversation against Youngstown, and who's after Youngstown? Nebraska, not Nebraska. Who's after Youngstown? Who we got? Who we got? Let me check. We got we got West Kentucky, and we having this conversation after those two games. All right, but calm down. Y'all need to be. We need to be like, all right. Let's see what this Notre Dame game look like, because we didn't look too good last year when we played them. Like JSN went down and CJ Stroud looked like a chicken with his head cut off. So then now we got all right.
I'm gonna say this. I understand why they went with the 2 quarterback approach in their first game. They want to see what they got in both guys. But once you get to the game versus Western Kentucky, you got Youngstown and Western Kentucky both coming to the shoe. If you're still playing 2 quarterbacks, by the time you are playing Western Kentucky, then you got to really look into the situation and be like, okay, you got to make a choice because you're playing Notre Dame next. And
Yep.
you're going to South Bend. You're not playing at home versus Notre Dame. That's going to be tough. You need to establish you need to establish a rhythm, but you also need to establish who your QB1 really is.
QB1,
if I'm Ryan Day,
it's Kyle.
Yeah, he's got the seniority.
It's Kyle. Like, you gotta believe in this guy. Like, I have more faith in Kyle than in him. Yes, he threw one interception, but he bounced back. He threw some touchdowns. They won. So I want to see what they do this weekend. I want to see what they do these. I'm not too worried with Kyle on the center. I'm straight. I'm good with him. Like, it's Devin Brown next year, or however long Kyle decides to stay. If he decides to stay, I'll do a JT Barrett and just stay. Or he decides to like, yo, I'm gonna do my 2 years here. Devin, come. I'm not too concerned once I see his rhythm get going. So
right.
Let's talk about the real deal.
Oh, the prime time. It's prime time.
Look here.
Hey, look, I'm gonna go ahead and say this right now. I saw that game.
I did too.
I watched it. The
whole game.
And I'm gonna say this.
Keep it a bean, keep it a stack.
Colorado went 1-11 last year, right?
1-11.
1-11. One of the one, if not the worst team in college football, like one of the worst teams.
Damn, one of the worst.
Yes.
Hit.
Deion Sanders signs. I saw this fun fact. When Colorado brought him into the fold, they signed him to a $28 million deal. Here's the kicker. They didn't have the money to sign him.
So what did they promise him? What did they give him? Like, yo.
He was like, we're going to sign him to this deal, and we know it's going to pay out. Once they signed Deion, he overhauls the entire roster, brings in 58 new faces, brings in Shador, his son, and his other son as well to play defense, picks up a couple pieces from other schools. Travis Hunter was from Alabama and transferred to Colorado. And I saw this a lot while the game was going on. People were saying, man, Nick Saban must be pissed right now because Travis left.
Right.
So you have all this talk of like, Deion is overhauling Colorado's culture. Like they're just doing a full 180. Like they're going to, make this thing happen. And then you have TCU, who's been in the national championship game already. So everybody's looking at Everybody's looking at this TCU Colorado matchup in South Texas, and they're like, TCU, they were just in the Natty, they were just in the national championship game against Georgia. They may have gotten blown out, but they were there. So like overwhelming odds is already on TCU's favor. Like Colorado was a 20-point underdog.
Mm-hmm.
Colorado goes in and takes down TCU 45-42.
And I had an argument with a buddy of mine on Facebook. I was saying TCU was not good. I mean, they must have been good to get like dog. It's like, you know how they say teams shouldn't be there in certain day. Like the same thing people said about Ohio State when the first 2014 when they won the national. Ohio State, they shouldn't. We beat Bama at their highest. That's when Bama was just becoming Bama. We knocked off Saban. Then we beat Oregon. So it's like saying TCU they got lucky to be in the national. They beat
TCU was able to contain Michigan at the right time. Yep. And Michigan was running on a high after beating Ohio State. They beat Ohio State. They win the Big Ten. They lock up the 2 seed. And then Ohio State wasn't even in like the playoff conversation until I think it was TCU that lost their conference championship game. And then Ohio State was able to creep back in, and then TCU was number 4. Yep. So it's like TCU, had they kept the number 3 seed and played Georgia, they wouldn't have survived. TCU would not have even made it that far.
Look, the thing about TCU that makes me so mad that people don't understand, I'm trying to tell my partner, you're looking at they worked like you looking. I'm not looking at it like that. Mm-mm. If you get to the biggest dance, you didn't score. Was it 3? Would they only score 7 or was it 3?
They scored 7 in the first quarter. They scored only 1 touchdown, and Georgia was scoring to the TCU's 1 touchdown they scored in the first. Georgia scored 3, and they scored 2, and they scored 3, and they scored 2. Like Georgia was pouring it on,
and it's like it's embarrassing. Then I get we talked off record like you're like, well, TCU wasn't in the down. Like, yeah, they were, but they got annihilated. It's different if it's like the game if they would have played like that against Colorado.
If this was like Ohio State and Georgia when they played in the semis, right?
Right.
That was a back and forth game.
Yeah.
If TCU had a game like that versus Georgia, then we could go ahead and say like, okay, look, like, TCU, yeah, they about it. But TCU, they didn't even sniff 14 the entire game.
And it's embarrassing to sit here and say, I'm not giving TCU any kind of leeway. I'm not giving no TCU fans. You're not getting that from me because you get crushed, then you lose to a team that you should have beaten.
Bro, I'm going to say this. Before the game started, I said TCU was a fraud top 25 team. They were a fraud top 25 team. I called it. I was like,
they texted to me.
I was like, look, I get why they got ranked the way they got ranked. I understand. But let's keep it a band right now. There were several teams, if you looked at the voting, that you could have made the argument that they deserved that spot more than TCU. I get why they got ranked the way that they did. I just don't agree with it. And you allow Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, in the Colorado Buffaloes to come into your house. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. Shedeur Sanders, his son, 510 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. He had 4 wide receivers that went over 100 yards receiving. 4. Last season, they only had 2 all year. In one game, they have 4 receivers for over 100 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Their running back went in the end zone 4 times.
Look, him.
Like, go ahead.
I say this now. I'm I'm happy that, like I said on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook that the only reason this game got so much hype is because of Prime.
Exactly.
That's the only reason this game got that much publicity is because of him.
Exactly.
And people, it's kind of like if they would have lost, the media would have had a field day. They would have had a field day.
Oh, they
They
would
would
have.
have had a field. They wouldn't know what to do. But now they won. They like,
Had,
yeah, let's move the goalpost back a little bit more. Now, I told you this. Their real test to me is USC and Oregon.
I got the schedule right in front of me right now.
Okay, what was those teams I said? I know it's USC.
It's Oregon. So you said the test was going to be Oregon and USC.
Yes. So those
this is the remaining schedule they got right now. So the next 2 games they play at home. They play Nebraska, which is Matt Rule from Carolina, the Panthers' former head coach. Okay. He's in Nebraska now. So we got Nebraska, and then you got Colorado State, both at home.
Right.
You go on the road to play in Oregon versus the Ducks at Autzen Field. Then you play USC and Caleb Williams at home.
Mm-hmm.
You got Arizona State right after. Then you got Stanford. You have UCLA. You got number 18 Oregon State. You got Arizona. You got Washington State and Utah. And those last 2 games are going to be they're going to be in Washington State and in Utah. Now, there was a post, I believe, by ESPN. I think it was SportsCenter, and they were like, predict Colorado's record now. So I took the liberty of writing down my prediction, and this is what I put. And this is something that we talked about off screen. I said, I believe that Nebraska and Colorado State are both going to be winnable games.
Right.
I think Colorado starts the season 3-0 before they go to play Oregon.
Okay.
Now, you could flip either one of these 2 games around. A lot of people are saying that they're going to lose to Oregon and to USC. I think they split one of those games.
All right.
I think they'll go to Oregon. It'll be a tight game. I think they'll lose their first game. And then they'll come back home and play Caleb Williams and USC. And I think, and this is the one thing I said, offensively speaking, from what we've seen thus far with Colorado, I believe they can contend with USC. Defensively is where I look at it because the front 7, they gave up a lot of ground, a lot of yards on the ground. The secondary is not as bad as it, could be, it could be patched up. It was their first game. But I think they should be able to handle it. I think they'll surprise a lot of people and take out USC. So I said that they'll probably win the game.
I say this. I'm happy. I'm not gonna let the high get me. I'm not gonna let they beat TCU because, like I told you, friend of mine, he was Coach Prime was the best football coach in college. After one game, after one, we already like I said, I'm not a Bama fan, but I will say Nick Saban is probably the greatest coach right now.
Bro, Nick Saban is the Bill Belichick of college sports right now.
He's the most winning. He's the most winning coach right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not gonna say Deion Sanders right there. I'm not gonna do that because he's not. He won this game. Now, if he goes on to take this team to a natty and they become this big powerhouse of a team that's a threat to team, like, we scared to go to Colorado and play these guys.
I'm gonna say this. I think if Prime does what he did with Jackson State and turns them into a full-on contender. Now remember, Jackson State, they were they weren't as heavy in the HBCU realm, but like once Dion got his lick over there and he started making moves, they became a top tier contender. Like they could have held their own.
Yeah.
If he pulls that same move, which I would love to see him do, if he turns it around and they end up going I said I want to see them go 9-3. If they go 9-3 first year, make a bowl appearance, and do work over there, then you got to really consider the fact like maybe there's something here. There's
Yeah.
something here.
And the only reason I give, because like TCU, I wouldn't say it was the fluke win. They fought for that win. They fought for that win.
Ooh,
If
oh,
they would have blew them out like how Oregon blew out some whatever that team was, then I'm like, all right.
bro, 87. It was like 81-7.
It's like
Sheesh.
it's like or like Oklahoma did whatever. Like
North Arkansas State.
I'm like, you're supposed to drop that many points on teams like that.
That's a warm up game.
Exactly. So I'm like, I want to see what they do after this game. Then if they, I'm like, I'll be impressed if they go undefeated this season. Then we can talk.
Man, if Colorado goes undefeated,
I feel like then we got to talk. Then we have a conversation to have.
right?
But it's just one game. I want to see because this could be one game. They could lose. They can go 1-11 again or whatever. They could probably happen.
I don't want to see them go 1-11.
No, I'm just saying like that could be just one good game. Like, all right, show me what else you can do. Cause like I said, I'm proud of what they did. Don't get it twisted. I'm like,
oh yeah,
it's just like, oh, everybody like putting all this on this team. They was hanging in there. They was like, all right, they was going back and forth. My 2 games.
And that's the one thing. That's the one thing I loved about watching this game about Colorado is because Colorado, if you watch the whole game, you saw that they pretty much had the lead going into like the third, fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And then TCU came back, got the lead. And then you got to see what Prime and that team does when they're trailing. And they punch right back. And then TCU punches back. And then they punch back again. And this is like, you got to see a little bit of like what happens when like a little circumstances, when there's like a, the pressure is kind of on.
Yeah.
And from what I saw, I was like, bro, like this team has a potential to be something special. They're nasty, right? They're nasty right now, but I want to see them get the next 2 wins, beat Nebraska, beat Colorado State at home, and then I want to see what you do in Oregon.
Yeah,
that's going to be one of the big tests for you.
Yeah, and I feel
like it's a back-to-back too because you got Oregon, and then you got USC coming to the house.
Yep, and I feel like it's gonna be a battle because you got the Heisman winning quarterback coming back. They say he may win that mug again this year. He may go back-to-back Heisman win. So you got that. Let's see what you got to do. But I'm like, I feel like I want to see what Colorado does. I mean, I'm not gonna put too much weight on it right now because it's just one game. It's just one game. I gotta see more. Like it's not hate. It's just like, you got one game under your belt. It's like I said, my team, we ain't even got a set quarterback yet. We won our game. Like, all right, cool. I want to see what our next 2 games is.
Yeah.
And our main game, I'm concerned about. I would say Notre Dame in the game. They're the only ones. The 2 games I'm concerned about, but ain't nothing too much to worry about until we get a solid quarterback. I'm like, I really want to see what Deion Sanders does with this team. If he could get him to a bowl game or in the playoff contendership, that would be insane. Because he ain't never gonna stop talking if he gets to a natty. He ain't never gonna let y'all.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait for that. I can't wait for those pressers. That's gonna be a lot of fun to watch.
Oh yeah, we got on our respective teams right now. How you feeling about this season, man? How you feeling? Because I'm feeling pretty good.
I'm telling you right now, man. AFC is going to run through Cincinnati this year.
You gonna stand on that hill? That's where you at?
Look, last year we should have got the 1 seed, if not the 2 seed. Okay, the circumstances played out the way that they did, and I get it. Should have been at least 14-3, but because of how things played out, O-line was brand new. Joe Burrow was coming off that appendectomy.
Oh, that's a word.
Huh?
What?
Appendectomy.
That's a word right there.
Basically, he got his appendix removed. It
Look,
was an emergency. It was an emergency surgery.
I feel, but you said you sound like you say that word 3 times. I'm gonna jump up behind you.
But yeah, so Joe Burrow had his appendix removed. We had a new offensive line. Not a lot of, not a lot of chemistry. The chemistry was still being built. We dropped our first 2 games, and everybody was on the panic button, like, oh, when you go 0-2, you don't make the playoffs. But we made the playoffs, and we made a pretty damn good run. Nearly went back to the Super Bowl. I really believe this team is when as healthy as they are now. I really believe this team has the ability to go at worst 12-5, at best 14-3. I think these guys can contend and like really not only three-peat for the AFC North, but also like they can possibly have a home. Like they could be the 1 seed.
I feel you. Cause I feel like the same thing with the Eagles. I ran into an Eagles fan yesterday. He like, yo, he was like, I'm like, I like him. I like appreciate it. Oh, and like, I said, how you feel about the team? Like, yo, I forget what he said, like 12 and something.
12-5.
Yeah, I think he said 2-5. I think he said 2-5. I'm like, I can see that. I'm like, I feel like I feel like the Eagles can take the East again. I'm like, I don't have too much fear in the Giants and the Commanders, because
Commanders are gonna look nice though. You gotta admit, Commanders could surprise a lot of people.
They might. It's like,
I like look. I've seen a couple of the Commanders games on preseason. Sam Howell, like,
look,
it's good.
It's like I feel like my Eagles could take the East. And speaking,
that's gonna be a given. Like I mean, there's okay. I was telling you this yesterday. Yesterday, I was like, look, it was a post that you sent me, right? It was like a potential Super Bowl pick between.
We ain't gonna talk about it. We ain't gonna say the team, but
no. We're gonna talk about it because like I have a point.
All right, go ahead.
So there was a post that you shared, and it was a Super Bowl prediction, and it was your Eagles versus the Miami Dolphins, right?
Yep.
And I, being a you see it,
yep,
Eagles fan, I immediately scoffed. I laughed because I was like, look, that means Tua is going to have to run the gauntlet. The Dolphins are going to have to run the gauntlet and go through the Jets, go through the Bills, go through the Bengals, go through the Jaguars, go through the Chiefs, Chargers. Like, they got to run through some heavily loaded teams.
And like, but what did I tell you? You know what have to go wrong. I know you never have to go wrong
for that to happen.
Yes, like
not even to get like the Chiefs are gonna have they're gonna have to like self-destruct. The Bengals would have to like have some sort of like weird output of a season. The Dolphins would have to like survive. And I wouldn't even say they would have to for them to have a chance to make a run like that. They would have to win their division. They would have to win the AFC East. They would have to. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. And the thing is, though, the way that the AFC East is loaded up right now, you got Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. You got Josh Allen and the Bills. Like,
I'm like this.
It's going to be a two-way race between the Jets and the Bills. Like, I'm not going to say I don't believe in Tua and his ability because I've seen what he can do when he's healthy. My thing, though, is like the AFC East. The AFC as a whole is so loaded that you could put any one of the teams I just named a few minutes ago, the Chiefs, Chargers, Jaguars, Bengals, the Jets, the Bills, Ravens. Like, you could look at any one of those teams and be like, they have potential to like make a run.
But you want to know what's so funny about the AFC now? There was one point in life where none of these teams were good. It was just like Tom Brady, the Patriots. You knew that.
Tom Brady, the Patriots, Peyton Manning, and the Colts.
Yep. It's like the Super Bowl, the AFC is going to go through one of those cities to get to the Super Bowl. It
Mm-hmm.
was like I don't even. And then like the Ravens got lucky a few times. Like I don't even remember any other team.
The Jacksonville Jaguars nearly went to a Super Bowl in 2017. You remember that one?
No.
Yeah. They went to the AFC Championship game versus the Patriots.
Oh yeah, they did. Oh yeah, that would have been.
Blake Bortles led that team. Like they remember Saxonville?
Oh yeah.
Jacksonville. That defense was what carried the Jacksonville Jaguars all the way out to the championship game. Like they nearly won that game in Foxborough. Like there have been like a few few teams during that time of Tom Brady and the Patriots that like could have gave him a run, but ultimately it was Brady that moved on. But now the field is like so wide open on the AFC side. I mean, when I say wide open, I mean like there's so many contenders now on the AFC side. It's so loaded. You don't know who to choose. I mean, you could choose the Chiefs because, like, of course, you know, they just won the Super Bowl or whatever. But, like, you know, it's loaded. But you look on the NFC side, right? You look on your side.
Before you say that, last year I said before he got injured, Tua got injured. I'm like, yo, I told you, I don't know if you remember that. I said, yo, I can see Miami versus the Eagles in the Super Bowl this year. Like, I could see like the way Tua was playing and the way Jalen was playing. All right, I could see. Because the Dolphins making a little noise. They was kind of a little stink on.
Dude, the Jets and the Dolphins were making noise.
And now I'm terrified because that man Aaron Rodgers in the AFC. Like we finally get to see a battle between A-Rod and Patty. Like we get to see this battle of the old gunslinger versus the new gunslinger. Like
I'm so excited for that matchup, bro. Like I'm gonna watch that. Look, I don't even know who I'm gonna root for. I'm gonna
go to the bar down the block to watch that game. I really think it's gonna be expectations may be high, so forgive me. I think there's gonna be high scoring.
Bro, are we talking like Rams Chiefs back in 2018? The Monday night
football? I'm not even gonna answer that question. I'm gonna let you answer that for me. I'm gonna let you answer that for me because that game right there, I swore, I called you. I said that's gonna be the Super Bowl this year. That's gonna be the Super Bowl this year. That year, I said that's gonna be the Super Bowl, but it was Chiefs and
Niners, and that was the year that the Chiefs they had to come back and win every single game because they were down by like 14 or 20,
and that was like I say. Let's talk. Can we talk about the debacle going on? The quarterback debacle. Can we talk about it? It's a debacle.
Tampa?
No, in Dallas.
Oh yes. Oh yes, please. Let's discuss this one.
I'll start.
Because you have more information than I do.
So
you got a lot of information about this one, so I'm gonna let you take the floor.
From the start, Jerry Jones went on record and said he overpaid Dak. We already said he said that on TV. He overpaid Dak. It's on record. You can look it up.
It's true.
I think you probably seen it. If you ain't, YouTube it. And then he says he was going to draft this guy, but we got him first. Then he says, who else he said he would? And then he said he overpaid. He would have paid Jalen. Now he gets Trey Lance. Now Dak, like, I've been here for 8 years and I'm not surprised that this happened.
When he said that, when I heard him say that, I was like, ooh, this is
getting messy. So I'm like, Jerry does not like Cowboy fans. This is not me hating. Y'all know that this is in your locker room. Jerry Jones does not like Dak Prescott.
I don't get it.
He loved Tony Romo. If Tony Romo never got injured, Tony Romo probably would still be playing with the Cowboys right now.
Possibly true.
Dak wouldn't be a Cowboy. He'd probably be somewhere else.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And the fact that I'm anybody, if anybody should be mad, it's Cooper Rush. Because Cooper Rush, like, he's been the go-to guy. So now I'm not gonna say Cooper Rush is gonna be QB2 because you're not bringing in Trey Lance to be a QB3. You're not doing that.
Wait, what's their? Hold on, wait.
Why you do it? And I say this because
I gotta check the depth chart. Give me a second.
I'm Dak. I am livid right now. I'm like, bruh, you really don't.
I'd be hot too.
You really don't like me. So I'm giving you the bare minimum this season. I'm giving you the bare goddamn minimum. Well, you ain't getting jack from me. I'm not giving you my all this. No, because all it takes is one bad game for Jerry to take him out, put in such and such.
Oh yeah. That's true. That's true.
All it takes is Mike, put Trey in. And Trey Lance only played 3 games. You putting your faith in a guy who ain't even played a full season. Are you serious?
Hold on.
Hold on. And I told my cousin, we was joking, and it's like, I don't understand what you say. You would have drafted Jalen Hurts. You say you would have drafted Jalen Hurts. So that lets me know, after what you seen this man do, he's better than Dak. You know that Trey Lance has the potential of being better than Dak.
Wait. Did you say that Trey Lance is better than Dak right now?
Why would you trade for him if you don't think he can be? It's like you don't buy a Tesla and sell your old car in hopes you can save more money with this Tesla. I hope I can save. This car has potential to save me more money. You get it because it's going to save some more money. It's going to save you some money. You know what I'm saying? Like you only trade for something that can help your team or potentially help your team.
Right.
Like when the Eagles traded for AJ Brown, and look what happened. I mean, hello, you only trade for something that can make your team better. And if you didn't think Trey Lance could contribute to the Cowboys, you wouldn't have traded for him.
I'm gonna pause you right there. I'm gonna pause you right there for a second. I get calm down for a second. Calm down, Chief. My thing is this with Trey Lance. I think the writing was on the wall way before. And I'm not talking Cowboys. I'm talking 49ers right now.
Okay.
So the original plan, because I followed the 49ers when they got Trey Lance, and I wanted to hear from like people that were inside and people that, that were following along. The word on the street was Garoppolo was going to be QB1 while Trey Lance trained and developed underneath him. Right. And then when Garoppolo left, QB1 was going to be Trey Lance. But then the situation with Garoppolo and his shoulder played out, and it prolonged him being over there. Mm-hmm. So what they ended up doing is they restructured the contract. Garoppolo stayed in San Francisco for a year, but he was going to be the backup, and Trey Lance was going to be QB1. That was the move. What happens is, in his second game, Trey Lance hurts his ankle. Pretty much shatters his ankle. He's out for the season. Garoppolo comes in, pretty much leads the 49ers on a run, and then he gets hurt. And then Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, shows up and goes on a 7-game tear and just shocks everybody and just pretty much went on a spree. Went on a run.
He pulled a Nick Foles.
Yeah, pulled a Nick Foles. But here's the thing. Brock Purdy was a rookie. He was Mr. Irrelevant in that draft. They bring him in. He's training all this time. He gets into the game and you know, you would think he lucked out a win. All right, cool. Let's see what he does in the next game. Now, here's the funny part about all this. Here's the fun part. Here's the fun part. Here's a funny tidbit. When Garoppolo went down, and their 49ers were looking at bringing up Purdy to have him start his first game or whatever.
Right.
Baker Mayfield had just hit the waivers, and there was a lot of chatter of like, yo, the 49ers could make a claim for Baker. Like, they could go after him. And Mike Shanahan was like, look, we would love to go after him, but there's no way that we can right now. Because the way that the waiver wire thing was kind of happening,
right?
It was, it was the Texans, the Bears, and the Rams. Those were the first 3 teams on the list that could claim. Bears said no. Texans said no. The Rams put the claim in, and they picked up Baker, and the rest is history. Brock Purdy goes in and pretty much has an electric run. Takes them all the way to the NFC Championship game versus your Eagles. And then your boy lays a pretty good hit on Brock Purdy and pretty much turns his arm into static noise.
You really gonna bring that up?
Yes, because one of your boys brought that up. And because the 49ers brought that up. But we're not going to discuss it.
We're not going to discuss it.
We're not going to discuss it right now. I'm just kind of leading into where we're at right now.
All right, cool. I got you.
Yeah, I'm not. Trust me. Long story short.
Talk to me.
So you got Brock Purdy, who's coming back from his shoulder, from his elbow injury. You guys pick up Sam Darnold in free agency, and you got Trey Lance that's coming off his injury as well. So now you got 3 quarterbacks.
Yep.
Camp happens, all that stuff. You named Sam Darnold as QB2 to Brock Purdy?
Yep.
You should have known. You should have known that when Brock Purdy went on that run, the way that he did, the writing was going to be on the wall for Trey Lance. Like, everybody kind of had a feeling like, yo, like, the 49ers might not keep Trey around. Like, there might be a move that they might be making a move off of him. And what makes it bad for the 49ers is the fact that they traded 3 first-round picks to pick him up.
Yep.
3 first-round picks to go after Trey Lance.
But look, here's my thing, going back to Trey Lance in Dallas. Now, I'm not one of them bitter. I'm not one of them evil Eagles fans. I'm not like no. I like to troll Cowboy fan. I like to just talk smack to y'all. I don't have no main issue with them.
You like Stephen A. Smith. You like to just
I like messing with you. I love it. I love rattle. If I can rattle a Cowboy fan, my day is made. And looking at it from Dak already has said some side stuff like he did. His brother said his dad don't want to play for the Cowboys. He said that he tweeted that like years ago, like, my brother don't want to really be in Dallas, blah, blah, blah. But then he re-signed, his brother tune changed, yada, yada, yada. I just feel like if I'm Dak, I feel like, bruh, either Dak, he ain't gonna be a Cowboy next year whenever his contract up, he's out. And I'm like, I don't want to. It's like, why be in a relationship with somebody you don't want, who doesn't want you back, don't want you like that? He's publicly said he paid you too much. Like, Jerry Jones said out of his own mouth. He said it, and I know it's like, it's no delusional type stuff. Like, it's like he said it. Right. It wasn't no joke. Once you say it out loud publicly, he meant that. And Dak says, well, I've been here for 8 years. I'm not surprised this happened. And then Sports Illustrated puts out an article blaming Dak. I sent it to you last year. Remember?
Wait. Sports Illustrated?
It was a Dallas morning. It was something from Dallas.
It was the Cowboys' own, like, the Cowboys.
Yeah, I think it was there.
It was their team writers that said that basically pinned the loss on him.
Yeah, they was like, it's like they don't like you here. And I'm like, there's only so much one man can take. It's like, I feel like if Dak left, he'll be better somewhere else.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely, yes.
It's
yeah.
Like,
The thing is though, like let's keep it a band right now. Let's ask this question.
Talk to me.
Let's say Dak Prescott leaves the Dallas Cowboys. Let's say he up is like, you know what, F it, I don't want to be here, I'm out.
Right.
Season plays out, whatever. He goes into free agency. If that's a thing for him, I don't know what his contract looks like, but let's just say he, hypothetically speaking, he's able to hit free agency after this season, right?
Right.
Where does he go? Because here's the thing: looking at this draft, this upcoming draft, it's quarterback friendly. Like it's heavy with quarterbacks.
You know what? I'm gonna answer your question right now. I'm looking at okay.
So give me 3 teams that you believe Dak Prescott could go to in free agency and thrive at.
Okay.
I'm trying to think.
I'm about to get. I'm about to mess you up. I'm about to mess you up real quick. Lions,
Okay.
Vikings,
Okay, I can see that.
Tennessee,
Oh, the Titans?
mm, the. I mean, if you wanted to keep it in the NFC, maybe the Commanders. Maybe.
No. Commanders already got Sam Howell and they're
Do
sticking
they
by.
trust them though?
I mean, here's the thing. Ron Rivera even said out loud, this is verbatim. Ron Rivera came out and said, had I known about Sam Howell earlier, then I would have put him in sooner. And here's the thing, Taylor Heineke, who's with the Atlanta Falcons now, he told Ron Rivera, he was like, look, I know you're starting me for this last game, but you need to put this kid in and watch him work. And
And
when he saw
a wild card, the Colts. No, not Colts, not Colts. They got a quarterback. Who needs a
they got
quarterback?
Anthony Richardson.
Anthony Richardson. Uh, yeah, those three then. Or the Rams if you want to throw a wild card in there.
The Rams?
Yeah, if you just want to throw like a random team in there.
Okay, so he said the Lions, the
Yep.
Vikings,
Yep.
Titans,
Yep.
Rams.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I could see the Lions. I could see the Vikings. Rams, they just drafted Stetson Bennett from Georgia, but from what I'm reading and from what I've been seeing, the quarterback room is not as solidified as you would think. It kind of makes me wonder why. Well, no, I'm not going to even go that route. I'm just going to leave that as is. Maybe. I don't know.
But if I had to pick a landing spot, I would say
I think Atlanta would do wonders with Dak.
Yeah, I'll say, cause like I say, like to get to like.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. I said this is a hypothetical where he would go in free agency. Let's say he demands a trade.
Mid-season trade,
Like, let's say it's week 6. Let's say it's like week 4, week 5, and it's to the point where like he's done had it, and he wants out because of everything going on.
put this. I don't think my heart could even be in the game, knowing what I know about this, how I feel about.
Okay, so what do you think Dak Prescott should do? Do you think he should sit out and make him like play without him?
I think Dak don't have it in him to sit out. He ain't one of those guys. I don't think he got it in him to sit out. Like, I don't think his ego would allow him to sit out.
What would he do then?
I think you just request a trade. You just said, not you, Dak just said after 8, for being here 8 years, I'm not surprised. I'm thinking at this as like all diehardness aside, like thinking at it from like man to man, I feel like, bro, if you knew been here for 8 years, you already knew you should. Let me pack my things up and go. My boy's gone. Like, Then you got, I don't care what anybody Cowboy fans say, your cornerback should not be telling you to shut your bitch ass up.
But here's the thing, though. Okay. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and call it like this. Did you see the clip after where he was the one chirping off as well?
Who that?
Yes, that was. See, here's the thing. I know a lot of people saw that clip and they were like, "Oh, see, even Diggs is going after him too." No, Dak was chirping off at Diggs. Was chirping off at Trayvon Diggs. He was going at him too.
Well, see, they didn't put that. I never saw that.
Yeah,
but I recant my statement then.
Yeah, I saw the clip. I know what you're talking about. Like everybody was talking about, like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, Dak Prescott's getting punked out by Trayvon Diggs or whatever, right? Well, there was a clip that floated around because I'm trying to tap into like all these fan bases or whatever. Someone floated a clip of Dak Prescott chirping off at Trayvon during a training session.
Well, that's different then. You know how many times us as homies told each other, shut our ass up. Shut your. We say it goes down all the time.
Yeah. So,
but they didn't send that part of the video. That part of that video didn't flow across my desk. But I say this: if you know your GM feels a certain way about you, and he already said he's overpaid you, he'd have picked up. He's already picked your replacement. All right, this. I'm. It's pretty much saying this is your replacement. So it's like, do you try your best to ball out, or do you like, yo, let me just gracefully let me look for a trade?
So so I'm looking at Dak Prescott's contract situation right now.
Damn, you found a contract?
Well, I found it's via sports. What's it called? Spot Track. So as of right now, his current contract is for 4 years, $160 million. $160 million. Signing bonus of 66 mil. Average salary of 40 mil. Total guarantees 126 mil.
Right.
Guaranteed at signing 95 mil. He's a free agent in 2025.
Oh, well, I'm not staying if I'm not wanted.
So I believe.
What you believe, man?
He has a potential. Okay, so it says here he has a potential out in 2024 for 3 years. A potential 3-year out at 126 mil, and is going to be 61 mil, close to $62 million dead cap against the Cowboys if he decides that he wants if he wants out early in 2024.
Right.
But if I'm Dak, I'm looking at it like this. Jerry Jones said he overpaid you. He brings in Trey. I said, and I talked to you about this, I was like, look, they brought in Trey. I think what they're going to do is there's no pressure to have Trey Lance start or play. They're pretty much bringing him in to develop and to build him into a quarterback, basically be Dak's replacement as it looks like. There's no pressure to bring him in early. Because he's raw talent still. He hasn't had that many reps. He hasn't played that much football. Let's go ahead and go back to his college days when he was at North Dakota State or North Dakota or South Dakota, North Dakota?
Yeah, North Dakota State. Same school Carson Wentz went to.
Okay, so North Dakota State, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so look, he only played one season at North Dakota State. In the second season he was going to play in, got shut down due to COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So then the 49ers, they bite the bullet, jump the gun, pretty much say F them picks, go after Trey Lance. And they're like, we're going to build him up to be the next guy up for Jimmy G and yada, yada, yada. This is going to be Trey Lance's team. Things don't pan out the way that they hoped. Trey Lance is traded to Dallas. And now you have Trey Lance in Dallas with Dak Prescott at the helm. And the thing is, there's not pressure on Trey to play this season. They're basically going to develop him and maybe see him as like the replacement moving forward.
I'm like,
but I will say this though. Jerry Jones has his hands all in this team. He could flip this all on its head and be like, yo, let's see what Trey Lance can do early. You don't know.
That's true. But I want to leave with this story real quick before we get here.
Mm-hmm.
I told you I was going to tell it on there. I'm in Walmart yesterday, right? Me and my mom grocery shopping. I see somebody in an Ohio State shirt. I see them. We make eye contact. Traditionally, I did what any Ohio State fan would do.
OH!
I did the looked at me like I had 3 heads. I'm like, I did it twice. So he's like, all right, maybe you ain't see me. He looked at me again. I'm like, oh, what? I'm like, your shirt. Like, oh, I don't know what you talking about. I just got this shirt on. I don't know what you. I'm like, bruh, if it's one thing I can't stand is a person that got on team colors and not knowing what the hell they got on. And it was a basic Ohio State. It wasn't like a crazy shirt or nothing. I mean, like, from the looks of it, you're not from Ohio.
Yeah.
You're not from there. So even if you're from Ohio, you know OHIO is like in Texas. The stars at night are big and bright. Deep in you know it.
Yeah.
You don't even have to. You don't even. It's like it's embedded in Texas DNA to know that. Like it's just.
Or like Tennessee, good old Rocky Top.
See, I didn't even know about it. I'm not from Tennessee. Man. I never heard that before in my life. But see,
you never heard University of Tennessee play Rocky Top?
No, I don't watch them.
Hey, look, it's pretty freaking amazing if you ever get a chance to see that. That's dope.
Point of making, I'm like, bro, I was embarrassed because
you were embarrassed.
I was embarrassed because, bro, like you got on my colors. I'm like, and the thing, they had just won yesterday, Saturday. So I'm like, oh, I got my stuff on. She got her stuff on. I'm like, hey, I think I ran to a family member. Street said otherwise.
You know, that happens, you know, with my job and whatever. We go to different houses or whatever. And I've met some people that have different, you know, alumni and their college colors and whatever. I will notice several, you know, people here and there. And like they'll have their colors, they'll have their whatever's around, and I always ask them, you're like, oh, you you go big blue or like this, that, and the third, and they know automatically what I'm talking about. Like when I was working in the theater business, college football came around, people wearing them colors left and right. And over here in Georgia, it's either Alabama, Georgia, or maybe a little bit of Clemson, South Carolina, whatever. But you always gotta be on your game when it comes to that. You gotta know. So for somebody to be wearing them colors and not know, what are you doing in life?
Like, man, I don't like all them people need to be shipped to an island and just fed potato salad with raisins in it. With that being said, this has been the show about another podcast. I'm your host, JunesEightyEIght, and my boy Izzy Phantasmo. Like always, we are out of here. Peace.